Hey guys, it's Scott with Scotty B Cards. In this video, I want to look at the checklist of 2021 Topps update and let you know who the best rookies are to target. So the 2021 Topps update checklist has been released. The product is not out yet, but I wanted to make this video so you can prepare for the release and make sure you're targeting the right players when you're opening boxes or if you're looking to buy singles. So the way that I do these videos, I've done one for each flagship release this year, is I will look at 4 categories. The first one is their prospect rankings. If they are ranked, then let's say they're in a top 10, I give them 10 points. If they're top 20, give them 9. I go all the way down. If they aren't ranked in the top 100, I still give them 1 point because they're good enough prospects to make it to the big leagues. Then you have minor league stats. If they're an average minor leaguer, let's say they're a 750 OPS player, I'll give them 5 points. If they're 850, I'll give them 7 points. If they're 950, you give them 9 points, and so forth. Then you have their age. Between the ages of 20 to 30, a majority of the rookies are on that list. If you're 25, you'll get 5 points because you're right in the middle. If you're 21, you'll get 9 points because you're younger. And if you're 30, you get 0 points. If you're 29, you get 1 point, and so forth. The last category I'll look at is major league stats. So I know a lot of these players have not had many at-bats in the big leagues, so it may be a little premature to do this, but overall, I still think it's a valuable resource to look at how they perform so far up to this point in their career. So then I'll total those all up and divide it by 4 and get their average rating, and that is how we will rank all of the rookies on this list. So in this checklist, I think there's like 70 to 90 rookies. There's a ton. And because of that, it took a while to get this all done, but overall, these are the top 15 rookies to look for. First player I want to talk about at number 15 is Taylor Trammell. Taylor Trammell has been around for a long time. If you have collected for the last 4 or 5 years, you know his name because he's been in Bowman Chrome prospect checklists forever, or Bowman Best checklists forever. He's always been around. I think this is his 3rd organization that he's with the Mariners, but he made his debut and he finally has that rookie card. He is a top 70 rookie, so we gave him 3 points. His minor league stats are okay. We'll look at those in a second, so I gave him 5. He's 23 years old, so he got 7 points there, and his big league stats aren't too hot, so he gave him 2 points. If we look at his baseball reference page, here he is. He is a 73rd ranked prospect in 2020. He has negative 0.5 WAR in the big leagues over 51 games. That's not great. That's why he only has 2 points. His minor league stats batted .269 with a 776 OPS. So I gave him a 5. He could have been a 6, but overall I think it's a pretty fair evaluation. Next up, at number 14, we have Joey Gerber. We gave him 6 points for his minor league stats. He was not a top prospect, so he got just 1 point here. He's 22 years old, and he does not have a bunch of major league success yet. He's a relief pitcher, so take that with a grain of salt if you want to invest in relief pitchers. But overall, he's 1-1 with a 4.02 ERA. He's pitched in 17 games, and he has potential. He is relatively young, like I said. He's 24. And if we go look at his minor leagues right here in the minors, he was relatively good. 2 wins, 4 losses with a 2.42 ERA. He only pitched for 2 seasons, partially because of COVID, and it looks like partially because of injury, possibly. So overall, that's number 14. If you want to invest in pitchers, he may be a good option. Who knows if he'll ever move to the actual rotation or not. At number 13, we have Trevor Larnach. Trevor Larnach is a player that I'm interested to see how he does in his career. He is a ranked prospect. I think he's 80th or 90th, right around there. He actually has really good minor league stats, which we'll look at in a moment. He's 24 years old, and his major league stats aren't quite where his minor league stats were yet, but I think he will get there. So if you look at Trevor Larnach, he's for the Twins. In the minor leagues, he hit .297 with an 841 OPS with some power with 21 home runs in 3 seasons. And when he came to the big leagues, he hit 7 home runs, a lot of which were very far, and he only had a 672 OPS. He does have a positive WAR, but his OPS plus is only 88. So overall, Trevor Larnach, I think he could develop into a good player, but he's getting older, so I don't know if it's worth investing in him necessarily. At number 12, we have Taylor Walls. He is a shortstop for the Tampa Bay Rays. When Taylor Walls came up, he came up before Wander Franco, and even though his offense isn't quite that great, his defense is amazing, and that's why he got a 6 for major league stats. I can't really check the defensive metrics for the minor leagues as easily as I can for the big leagues, but his offensive numbers are about a 6 by themselves, so if you include good defense, premium defense, then that could be a 7. Overall, he's 24 years old, was never really ranked as a prospect, but if we check out his baseball reference page, he has 1.4 WAR with a 77 OPS plus. And you may think, why does he have that much WAR for such a bad OPS plus? If we go to his overview and go down to right here, you'll see he actually has 1.1 defensive WAR, which really shows how much value he adds, and still has 0.6 offensive WAR. Pretty solid player. If he can be an average bat and then have elite defense, he's only played 54 games and has over 1 WAR defensively. He's like an Andrelton Simmons type player. Not huge potential, but somebody you may want to consider picking up a few rookies of. At number 11, we have Oscar Ona. I hopefully pronounced that right, but Ona is a great pitcher for the Braves. He had okay minor league statistics. He's 23 years old, so if he's pitching in the big leagues at 23 and having relative success, we gave him a 6 for major league stats. That's very impressive. Ona is somebody that you might want to consider buying. Like I said, he has 1.8 WAR in the big leagues with a 4 ERA. His whip isn't, you want to be around 1 with your whip, but overall, he's not a bad pitcher at all. I believe he has about a 110 ERA plus, meaning he's 10% better than league average. If you look at his minor leagues, he wasn't the best pitcher ever, but he has been pitching in the minors for 6 seasons, and so there's been ups and downs like every player in the minor leagues. At number 10, you have Garrett Whitlock, another pitcher. This list is a lot of pitchers in Topps update for this year. But Garrett Whitlock is one of the best. He pitches for the Red Sox. He has an 8-4 record with a 1.96 ERA. He has 2.9 WAR. He has quite a few strikeouts, 81 strikeouts in only 46 games, none of which he started. He's a relief pitcher, but he may be able to move to the rotation next year. It'll be interesting to see what happens. Solid player. His minor leagues were pretty good. If we can scroll down and look at those real quick, he had a 2.41 ERA in the minors with 12 wins. So not bad over 3 full minor league seasons. So that is number 10 with Garrett Whitlock. Really good, impressive. Major league stats, we gave him a 7 there. Minor league stats are good, we gave him a 7 there. And he's 24 years old. After that, we have Akil Baddoo, somebody we probably know more of. He had one of the best rookie seasons to start. He was really hot and then he slowed down. But even though he slowed down, he still had a good year. He's only 22 years old. For some reason, I thought he was like 30, but he's only 22 years old. And if we go look at his numbers, he had 2.1 WAR with 113 OPS plus. Anything above 100 is league average. Overall, he's at 13 homers with a 259 batting average and a 766 OPS, but because league offense is down, that's a pretty good number. Baddoo is somebody a lot of people are going to be targeting. I don't know if he's the best purchase, but if he can develop consistent power and have an OPS plus around 120 the rest of his career, that's a really solid big leaguer. At number 8, we have Geraldo Perdomo. He is somebody who's really young, 21 years old, who has not had major minor league success, but that's tough to say when he missed a year of development at such a young age, with 2020 being canceled for the minor leaguers. He is a top 70 prospect, and his major league stats have been relatively good. So if you go look at Perdomo's stats, he has 0.3 WAR, so that's not bad, but a 258 batting average. Never really been a huge power guy. We can even see that in the minor leagues. But if we scroll down, here's his minor league statistics. 14 home runs in 4 seasons, but a 762 OPS. So a pretty good minor leaguer. Made the big leagues really young because he's on the Diamondbacks and they're just kind of bringing guys up and having that development hit earlier. But I think Perdomo could be a good buy because he has so many tools and he is so young at age 21 with an 800-ish OPS already in the big leagues and a 117 OPS plus. At number 7, we have Andres Gimenez. I won't go too deep into Andres Gimenez because he's already been on a list before. He was in Topps Series 1 in a Mets uniform. Then he was traded to the Indians for Lindor. And because of that, he is in Topps Update with an Indians uniform on. I don't know if we want to call him the Guardians now because the season's over. But overall, he is a solid player. He is a top 60 prospect. His minor league stats are okay. He's a good defensive shortstop, so his offensive numbers aren't anything too special. He's only 22 years old, which is why he's so high on this list. And his big league numbers have also been good. He's a solid WAR player. He's not negative. This year he's been worth about 1 WAR. He's only played in a total of 117 major league games, and he does have 2 total WAR. So that's not bad. Good defensive numbers, just a shortstop who can be a solid player moving forward. At number 6, we have a player that's really interesting in Logan Gilbert, one of the best pitchers on this list. Logan Gilbert is a top 30 prospect. Minor league stats are amazing. He's only 24 years old. He hasn't had quite the major league success yet. He's still good. He has a 1 WAR, 6 win, 4.5, 4.7 pitcher for his ERA. He has 128 strikeouts, which is pretty good. He's got strikeouts per 9 innings at 9.7. He's one of my very favorite pitchers in this set to target because he has such high potential, but he is 24, so it may not quite be worth investing in. If you go look at his minor league numbers, again, they're amazing with the 2.12 ERA and 11 wins and 5 losses. So Logan Gilbert, great pitcher, great player. Now we're in the top 5. At number 5, we have Jonathan India. Jonathan India is probably the one player on this list who's had the best major league success out of everybody here. He is 24 years old, which is kind of why he's not higher on this list. If he was 20 years old, he'd be number 1. But overall, his prospect ranking, he is also a top 50 prospect. Minor league stats are above average, nothing too crazy compared to his big league numbers he's put up, but overall, a really good player. So let's go look at Jonathan India. Again, almost a 4 WAR player, OPS plus at 113. He had 21 home runs, 270 batting average with an 835 OPS. Those numbers are good. I would take that player any day on my team. That's impressive for any rookie to be able to do that. If we can scroll down and look at his minor league numbers, again, has not been anything too crazy because he was a college player. He came up after he was drafted and then he didn't have a ton of time with minor leagues because of the shortened 2020 season, but he is a 254 hitter in the minors at basically an 800 OPS with some power. So not a bad player to have, but I would say Jonathan India, I hope he can stick around for the long term. Hopefully he does not get figured out by pitchers at the big league level. I don't think he will based off of the performance he had. I don't know if he's worth investing in because he is older, but he is a solid player on this checklist. At number 4, we have, in my opinion, the pitcher I would target, if not named Logan Gilbert, Alek Manoah. He's awesome. He's looked so good, and some of his stuff is just ridiculous. For a pitcher, he has been amazing this year. In the minors, he had great numbers as well, but he was a college guy who got drafted, I think, in 2019 or 2020, and then got to the big leagues really quickly. He was an 80-ish prospect and is only 23 years old. So Alek Manoah, if we can look here, he has 3 WAR, 9 wins, 2 losses with a 3.22 ERA, and only 20 games started. So that's not a bad winning percentage. You know, I would take that at 100%. 800 winning percentage. You want that in your pitcher. If we look, he did lead the league in hit by pitches. He hit a lot of people, but that is what it is. A lot of strikeouts for only 20 games, 127 strikeouts. And if we can go look at his minor league numbers, you can even see that was consistent in the minors. He pitched just a few games this year and just a few games last year. His minors, a 1.54 ERA. So Alek Manoah, probably my favorite pitcher on the list by far, and then Logan Gilbert. Next up, we actually have another pitcher with Luis Patino, and he's another player just like Andres Gimenez, who had a top Series 1 rookie, and he was with the Padres, and now he's with the Rays. He has, if you look here, he's a top 20 prospect. His minor league stats are amazing. He's only 21 years old, but in the big leagues, he just hasn't figured it out quite yet. 4.31 ERA. You want somebody who has a better ERA, better stuff from a pitcher who is so highly touted. I understand he is young, and he could develop, and that's why I have him so high. That's why all those factors say he is a top 3 person in the checklist. So if you go look at his minor league stats, though, they're much more impressive than his big league stats. He is, again, like a number 23 overall, and he had in the minors over 4 seasons a 2.43 ERA with 19 wins and 14 losses. So Patino's awesome. He's somebody I did target in Series 1. Update rookies usually go for more when they have the correct uniform on, so maybe I should have waited, but you never really know if Topps is actually going to do that for update. Then at number 2, we have Andrew Vaughn. Andrew Vaughn is a very interesting player because, like Alek Manoah, he basically skipped the minor leagues and went right to the big leagues. And even though his numbers aren't super good in the big leagues, it's impressive knowing he does not have many major league at-bats under his belt or professional at-bats under his belt at all. He is a top 20 prospect as well. His minor league stats are good. I think he has, like an 850 OPS. He is only 23 years old, and his big league stats, I think he has 0.2 WAR, so not anything too crazy, but he does have a lot of power. If his on-base was higher, his OPS would look better, but he's been a positive impact for the White Sox, even though he is currently hurt. Here's Andrew Vaughn, OPS plus at 92. Again, that's just due to his on-base being really bad. A 309 on base. You want to be around 350, and that would have bumped him up much higher to be above a 100 OPS plus. But overall, 15 home runs in 127 games. I can see him easily being a 30 home run player year in and year out, and it's kind of a crazy picture of him. But Andrew Vaughn's a good player. You can see in college, he had amazing numbers, 1,300 OPS, the 402 batting average. Right here you can see he has a 1,350 OPS at the 400 batting average. And then if we scroll down to his minor leagues, he only had 1 season in the minors and had 6 home runs with an 832 OPS. So good numbers there for sure, but it will translate at the big leagues eventually. It's just going to take him some time. And at number 1, the player that I think we all know is the most sought after is Jarred Kelenic. He has amazing, like everything besides major league stats. I gave him a 1, which may be harsh because he was coming around. I think he had almost a 900 OPS in the month of September, but overall his numbers are pretty bad. He has like -2 WAR almost. He is a top 10 prospect. He's 22 years old, and his minor league stats are very, very good, and that will translate at the big league level in my opinion. So here's Kelenic's baseball reference page, -1.7 WAR, 72 OPS, not a great defender. He has basically his offensive WAR is 0, but his defensive WAR is -1.5. I've seen him make good defensive plays, but sometimes it just takes time to translate to the big leagues. If we go look at his minor league numbers, you will see that he is the number 4 prospect heading into this year, and his numbers are very good. He has a 903 OPS with a 294 batting average with a bunch of home runs. So he's a player that I would look at as the number 1 player to pick up. I like Manoah, Vaughn, and Kelenic. If I was opening product, you could even say Logan Gilbert up there as well. Overall, that is my list. Let me know down in the comments below if I missed anybody in your opinion, if you don't agree with where these players are ranked. But other than that, thank you for watching. Good luck ripping 2021 Topps Update. Update is always my favorite product, and make sure you're looking out for Topps Chrome Update as well, as those cards carry a massive premium. Other than that, I'll catch you guys in the next video. See ya.